Welcome. I'm Jessica Lombard, Associate Superintendent.
And I'm Superintendent John Berkey, and this is Huntley 158 Today. Well, Jessica, we've got a great show today. We actually have an author, somebody who's written books, and not only is it somebody, it's one of our seniors at Huntley High School.
That is so exciting. I'll go ahead and get started. We'll introduce Kyle Ackerland, senior here at Huntley High School, and Miss Zietlow, otherwise known as Miss Z to her students. Missy, why don't you tell us, you've been with Huntley High School now for 3 years. What do you teach here?
I teach computer science here at Huntley High School. Before that, I was a software engineer at Motorola, and then switched to teaching, and I'm excited to be here teaching computer science.
Oh, we're excited you're here too.
No, it's great to have you. It's great to have you as a teacher in the district. Now, Kyle, you know, I started off by saying you've written a couple books, but I know a few years ago you actually did a study of the bell system at the high school. I know this is one of the first times when you got on our radar. Tell us about that study a little bit.
Right, so that study was conducted through the Huntley High School Experimental Science Society, the organization I'm a founder of. And essentially what we did is when the school switched to a higher pitch bell system, we gathered 50 students and we essentially A/B tested them, clinically testing the old bell versus the new bell in terms of their concentration. And we compared that with statistically significant methods, and we were able to find that there was a difference and the new bell was actually harmful. So we brought that to the school and sure enough changed the bells back to the old one.
So the old bell system came back into place because of that. So,
Still in use today.
So what has gotten you? You're very interested in computer science, and that's what your books are on. What first got you interested in computer science? When did that happen? Was it in elementary school or?
Yeah, I like a lot of young boys. I wanted to get into computer science because I want to make video games. All the young boys, everybody. I want to go make video games, and that's how I got started really. And I was I messed around with stuff, and I was younger. When I was fourth grade-ish, I started messing around with some basic kind of code thing. I really picked it up more towards the end of middle school. So I was going through and doing all of that, but really just kind of snowballed from video games into more applied things. And really one of the big pulls for computer science, and it has been from a young age, is like computer science is more applied. And you learn about math and you're doing all math and science and things, but that's very abstract, that's very out there. Computer science, you do the work, it's concrete, you get concrete feedback right away, and that was really my main pull.
So what prompted you to write books? Tell us how that came about.
That came about, I was always really big into making my programs have real world effect, and that's what I've really been striving for ever since I started programming. And suddenly when I was in the 8th grade, I got this graphing calculator and you could program it, and that was the greatest thing to me. And I programmed and I programmed and I programmed and I programmed, and I just kept going and going and going. And I realized too, especially when I got into high school, other people were starting to get these calculators. There's this massive world of programming in them. Nobody knows how to do it. So I started writing things down. I had a website going and I was just kind of more or less blogging about what I was doing and how it was going. And eventually that kind of snowballed into, well, a whole book and then a second whole book.
Kyle, which book was that you wrote? The Z80 Machine Code and TI Basics. So TI Basics was the first book you wrote? Yeah. And that was in 8th grade? And when did the second book come along?
They both actually originally was going to be one book because they're both 2 programming languages available on the calculator. Now, Jumpstart TI Basic eventually kind of fusioned off into its own thing. That got published when I was in the 10th grade, and then Z80 Machine Code the year after that.
You've accomplished an incredible amount as a high school senior already. I mean, writing a book in 8th grade.
Unbelievable.
What are your future plans? You're obviously probably starting to look at colleges. What are you looking at for the future?
In the future, in the long run, what I want to go and do is I want to go and do data science, specifically natural language processing. And in terms of colleges, immediately out the gate, the first one that I want to really look into is U of I, definitely U of I at Champaign, because natural language processing is such a very select field. It takes a large school like U of I to be able to accommodate that, and U of I is really one of the only places that offers a program for something like that.
Ms. Zietlow, what's Kyle like to have in class?
He's obviously a great student, very ambitious. I've never, he just has such a passion for computer science and just always wants to do more, always wants to challenge himself. Just the projects he comes up with to do are way above, what I can even imagine sometimes. So it's really cool to just see him and his passion and just the way he really pushes himself to do more.
So he's written books. He was the founder of an organization here, but he also has something else that you've nominated him for, and that was the 50 for the Future Award. Tell us a little bit about what is that award and why did you select Kyle?
So there's an award through the Illinois Technology Foundation. It's called 50 for the Future, and it's 50 college students, and then they limit it to 10 high school students, and throughout the state. And I just felt like, again, with the way he just puts himself way out there and does so much more than most high school students even can dream of. I just nominated him. It's an award for anyone that's going above and beyond in technology.
Right.
Well, Kyle, I think you're a great example of what a student needs to be like for the 21st century, because you need to be kind of an entrepreneur and an innovator, and clearly you've already done that, and I think you're going to go very far. And so we wish you the best of luck as you hopefully go on to the University of Illinois. I think you're going to go far, and we look forward to reading more
Absolutely.
books as you publish them in the future. So thank you very much to both of you for being on our show today.
Thank you for joining us today. If you'd like to see a special guest on our show, you'd like a certain topic discussed or a question answered, please reach out to us at our District 158 Facebook page or via Twitter, #Ask158. Until next time.